This story is called Teen Thriller Hike. The small town of Willow Creek was surrounded by vast wilderness, with mountains that seemed to touch the sky and forests that whispered secrets to each other in the wind. 4 teenage friends, Alex, Jake, Emily, and Ben, all avid hikers, spent most of their free time exploring these woods, discovering hidden streams and secret meadows. One day, while rummaging through the attic of Alex's family cabin, they stumbled upon an old, yellowed map that supposedly led to hidden waterfall deep within the mountains. The map was torn and worn, but the faded ink seemed to dance with excitement, beckoning them to follow its path. "Guys, look at this," Alex exclaimed, his eyes shining with adventure, as he unfolded the map on the creaky wooden floor. The group huddled around, their faces aglow with curiosity, tracing the winding trail that promised to lead them to a secret paradise. "We have to do this," Emily said, her voice barely above a whisper, as if she was afraid of breaking the spell that surrounded the map. And so, they began to plan their expedition, poring over the map, researching the terrain, and packing their backpacks with supplies, their anticipation growing with each passing day. Little did they know their journey would be more than just a hike. It would be a test of friendship, courage, and determination, one that would change them forever. The day of their expedition finally arrived, and the group set off early in the morning, eager to start their adventure. As they ventured deeper into the mountains, the terrain grew more treacherous, with steep inclines and loose rocks that threatened to send them tumbling. "Whoa, watch your step," Jake warned, grabbing Ben's arm as he slipped on a patch of gravel. The group continued on, their senses heightened as they navigated through the dense forest. The sound of leaves crunching beneath their feet, and birds chirping in the trees. After hours of hiking, they stopped to refuel with sandwiches and energy bars, taking a moment to appreciate the breathtaking view from the top of a ridge. "Look, is that a stream down there?" Emily asked, pointing to a glint of water in the distance. Alex pulled out the map, studying it carefully before nodding. "Yeah, it's supposed to lead us to the waterfall." As they made their way down towards the stream, they noticed that they were not alone. A rival group of hikers, led by a burly man with a skull on his face, was hot on their heels. "What do you think they're after?" Ben whispered, eyeing the rival group warily. Alex's eyes narrowed. "I don't know, but we need to move fast if we want to reach the waterfall first." The group picked up their pace, their hearts racing with excitement and a hint of competition, as they hurtled towards the unknown dangers and wonders that lay ahead. The group stood at the edge of a steep cliff, their eyes fixed on the waterfall cascading down the rocky face below, its misty veil rising into the air like a challenge. "Whoa, this is it," Jake breathed, his voice barely audible over the roar of the falls, as he gazed out at the breathtaking sight. Alex studied the map, her brow furrowed in concern, before looking up at her friends with a determined glint in her eye. "The map says there's a path down, but I don't see it," she said, her voice firm and resolute. The rival group, led by the burly man, appeared at their side, his scowl deepening as he sneered at them. "You think you can handle this?" he taunted, his voice dripping with malice. "This path is for experienced hikers only." Ben's face set in a determined expression, his eyes flashing with defiance. "We've come too far to turn back now," he said, his voice steady and firm. The group began to search for a way down, their hearts racing with excitement and fear, as they scanned the rocky face for any sign of a path or handhold. Emily spotted a narrow ledge winding its way down the cliff, partially hidden by foliage, and her eyes lit up with excitement. "Guys, look," she exclaimed, pointing to the ledge. Alex nodded, a plan forming in her mind. "We can make it down that way, but we have to be careful," she said, her voice calm and measured. The group steeled themselves for the treacherous descent, their senses heightened as they began to make their way down the ledge, one by one, testing each step before transferring their weight. The rival group followed close behind, their leader snarling in frustration as he realized he couldn't intimidate the group into giving up, his face reddening with anger. As they neared the bottom, the sound of the waterfall grew louder, and the group's excitement reached a fever pitch, their hearts pounding in anticipation. Suddenly, Ben lost his footing on a loose rock, and his friends gasped as he stumbled, his arms windmilling wildly as he struggled to regain his balance. Jake quickly grabbed Ben's arm, pulling him back from the edge, his face set in a fierce expression. "Gotcha," he exclaimed, relief washing over him. The group let out a collective sigh of relief as they finally reached solid ground, their legs shaking with exhaustion and adrenaline. They stood before the waterfall, its misty veil surrounding them like a cool embrace, and gazed up at the breathtaking sight in awe, their faces filled with wonder and excitement. "We did it," Emily exclaimed, her voice full of triumph, as the group cheered and hugged each other, basking in the glory of their achievement. The group stood before the waterfall, its misty veil surrounding them like a cool embrace, and gazed up at the breathtaking sight in awe, their faces filled with wonder and excitement. As they caught their breath and took in the beauty of the falls, the rival group appeared beside them, their leader's scowl deepening, as he realized he'd been beaten to the prize. "Congratulations," he muttered gruffly, before turning to leave, his tail between his legs. The group watched them go, then turned back to the waterfall, their faces filled with pride and accomplishment, as they high-fived each other and cheered. Ben pulled out his camera and began snapping photos, trying to capture the majesty of the falls, while Emily and Alex sat down on a nearby rock, taking in the serene atmosphere. Jake wandered closer to the waterfall, feeling the cool mist on his face, and gazed up at the roaring water, his eyes shining with excitement. As they rested and took in the sights, the group realized that the journey had been just as important as the destination, forging unbreakable bonds among them, and creating memories that would last a lifetime. The sun began to set, casting a warm orange glow over the scene, and the group knew it was time to start their journey back down the mountain. But they were all reluctant to leave the magical place behind. As they made their way back through the forest, the group was quiet, each lost in their own thoughts, reflecting on the adventure they'd just shared and the challenges they'd overcome. The stars began to twinkle in the night sky as they emerged from the trees, and the group quickened their pace, eager to get back home and share their incredible story with their friends and family. As they walked into town, exhausted but exhilarated, they knew that this was a day they would never forget, and that their friendship had been tested and proved stronger than ever. The group grinned at each other, already planning their next adventure, as the sound of laughter and chatter filled the air, echoing through the streets of the small town.